Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, yo.
Yo, yo. Thank you for tuning in to WSYC 88.7, home of Shippensburg University.
And you are now tuned into the one and only Hear Me Clearly podcast and radio with your hosts, Danny and Jaison.
Hey.
Hey, y'all. It's your host, Danny, with the Hear Me Clearly podcast. And today, joining me, I have Jaison Battle with Classy Women Only in his campaign. So I'm going to turn it over to you. You can introduce yourself, like your hometown, all that good stuff.
Okay, my name is Jaison Battle. Originally, I'm from North Philly, 18th and Cumberland to be exact.
Okay.
Around like 6th, 7th grade, that's like I was 12, my mom moved to the Northeast. I lived out there for 2 years. And at the end of middle school, which was 2011, I moved to West Oak Lane area of Philadelphia, uptown. And I've been living there ever since 2011. Some hobbies of mine, I like to do community service, play basketball. I got a lot of siblings. I got 5 brothers, 2 sisters, so I'm real.
Family.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's really what's up. I wish I had a couple sisters.
Yeah, real family oriented. Yeah, that's about it.
That's good.
Occupation. What I do right now is I'm a direct care provider, and I work like doing home healthy, caring for older individuals, washing clothes, doing dishes. Yeah.
That's what's up. Like you seem like you care about people, so I'm gonna assume that's why being classy is so important for you. So that's why you want to take it.
And I know one of the questions you had asked me was, what made me call a brand Classy Women Only? Just to segue into that. Initially, it was just me and my dad. We was having a good time, and believe it or not, it started with a song.
Okay.
It's actually on YouTube. It's called Classy Women Only.
By who?
By me and my dad.
Okay.
I never dropped it or nothing. It was nothing.
Okay. I'm gonna have to like put that in at the end. Like I'm definitely gonna do that, or at least like tag it in so everybody can find it. I'm gonna have to look into it as soon as we done this joint because I'm just like you didn't tell me that. You just snuck that in.
I ain't tell too many people about that. Like I said, it's nothing that I ever promoted. And that was in 2017. That's when the brand initially started. I was in a time in my life where I couldn't really create no real connections with women. Just being in high school 2 years prior, dealing with females who, in my definition of classy, they weren't meeting up to that standard. And me, myself, I wasn't as respectful to women. I'm a big believer in treat people the way you want to be treated. So, like, looking back on it, I wasn't even treating women in a respectful manner. For me to be getting treated in a respectful manner in terms to allow for some type of relationship to build that was aside from sexual, you know what I'm saying? That was something that I always was seeking, just having female friends. I had people that was cool, knew my name, but I never had female friends so.
Like just platonic relationships.
Just homies, like, you know what I'm saying? Until like later on in life, like I said, 2017 when the brand started to grow. But prior to that, no real female friends, and that was something that I looked at as a problem.
Okay. All right, so I mean, that was a great introduction to this interview. I mean, you kind of like touched a little bit of everything that we're going to dive into a little bit deeper throughout this interview. But you kind of already told us a little bit about yourself, like your occupation. You do home health aid, you care for people. You and your dad got this awesome track that I'm going to have to look up and include that y'all composed in 2017. Y'all heard manifested songs, like y'all really popping. So, you kind of touched on it already, but I want to dig into it a little deeper. So, how did the whole idea manifest, like, since 2017? We're in 2019 now, so if you could just tell me a little bit of your timeline and how it has grown over the years.
2017, we made the song Bang. It's real catchy.
What's the chorus? Like, give me a little feel.
This is how the song go. Classy women only, classy women only. Classy women only. Yeah, them thoughts they think they know me. And then from there, I dropped my verse. And I'm be honest, when you hear my verse, you won't understand why I made the brand and why it is what it is now. 2017, we dropped the track. I was actually working on another project because my mind always all over the place, but it just kept coming back to me. Like I told my friends about it, they was like kind of gravitating towards it. So from there, what I started to do was just comment Classy Women Only on everybody posts. So I
Right.
just was hashtagging
I seen it.
on everybody.
I seen
It
it.
didn't matter if they, in your definition or their own definition, they probably might not have been classy, but
Right.
that was my way of initially like just getting it out there so
Yep.
people could
Networking.
see it. So people could see it, people talking about it, even if it's negative. Like he might comment on her picture, she not even classy. But they talking about the
y'all talking about my brand.
all right, so that was all 2017.
Okay.
And around that time, I actually had a friend. She had her own printing shop, and we had a real good relationship to where she was actually creating merchandise for me for free.
That's
That
thorough.
was extremely thorough. And I started with sweatshirts. I'm not sure if you remember. I had numerous colors, different sizes, and it just said "Classy Women Only" across the chest. I sold those, but after a while, people started to think it was a brand, like requesting sweatpants. And
Right.
so for me, it's like, it's not a lifestyle, it's not a clothing brand, and I don't want to get people to get caught up with it being that. So I'm like, I'm not even going to just focus on the clothes. I got to do something to show the women empowerment side of the brand, like me trying to uplift women to become a better version of themselves. So 2017 going on, I actually get shirts. The beginning of 2018. 25 shirts, Classy Women Only on the front, and on the back it said a few things. It said mentally free, spiritually free, free of all negativity. It was just basically just saying like just free expression of yourself, but also trying to become the best version of yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those people who kind of like always breaking rules. I feel like we define our own rules. Like we define like our own lives. Like something that you might agree with. Yeah, like something you might agree with, I might not agree with, and that should be okay that we have different opinions. And so that's why I put that on the shirt. I'm gonna try to get you like a picture of the shirt so you could probably provide it in the interview so that you can see it. From there, I took like another little break. This was in the beginning of the year, so it's still winter time. People still in school. I had the 25 shirts from January until July. And to myself, I said, there's no reason why it took me that long to sell 25 shirts. So I just felt as though I wasn't being serious with my brand.
So that was a moment of like self-realization.
Yeah, like
or do you think like in a way you were a beginner, so it probably wasn't going to take off as you imagined it taking off? I mean, at the end of the day, anything worth having is worth working for.
Right. So I definitely agree with what you're saying. It was just me knowing my potential and realizing I wasn't even giving it my full potential. You know what I'm saying? But definitely everything was like beginning stages. I'm still in the beginning stages with this only being the second year that I started it. So back to the time the shirts sold out around the end of July. Prior to that, I got given the opportunity to become a host for a networking event. So that was another thing for me. In my head, I'm like, all right, it's a lifestyle brand trying to empower women. How can I get people to come together? All right, I want to start doing networking events. So my end game for this entire brand, I'm telling you this now, my end game for the entire Classy Women is to turn it into a non-profit networking organization for millions of people that's ultimately trying to become the best versions of themselves.
That's clutch. I mean, I think something like that is definitely needed. It's kind of like a profession. It's like not a professional like workshop, but in a way it is.
It is, right. And the more it grow and the way the networking events going to grow and change, people going to see that it's attacking all assets and all facets of life. So I understand why you're calling it a lifestyle brand. You know what I'm saying? So I did that. I did a great job. I actually was giving 2 free Beyonce and Jay-Z tickets for the concert last year. So that encouraged me. Like, damn, they like how my energy. They like how I was with the people. I'm on to something. Like, I'm moving to the right direction. First networking event. I didn't do anything else until the beginning of this year. I dropped wristbands and hats. As you can see, I had some hats. Say Classy Women Only straight across the front with the crown logo. And on the back, I decided to include the breast cancer awareness symbol. Because like I said, I'm a women empowerment brand. I felt as though, so people could realize it's not just a brand, you know what I'm saying? It's something that's attacking, trying to empower women, you know? So I just thought that emblem would make more women appreciate it and draw to the brand. And just going down the line, when I do more merchandise in my hats, I think that's going to be something signature to include that ribbon. So when I do end up getting sponsorships with Susan G. Komen or anybody that's doing something as far as breast cancer awareness, because feel like that's something that should always be talked about. Women every day, all times a year, are going and getting checkups and finding out that they might be on stage 1, 2, 3, or 4 of breast cancer. And I feel as though it's not just women's duty to stick together and uplift them and make them feel strong. It's a man's duty. So just really trying to promote that more, that community feel. So that was the hats, and I had wristbands. I couldn't be a part of a networking event at the beginning of the year, but she allowed for me to be a sponsor. So I donated 10 free hats and I gave away 50 wristbands.
Okay.
She said that everybody there loved it. I was thankful for that. And this was the girl who last year in May, I was the host of her networking event.
Awesome.
So just keeping the connections going. And as the year went on, I'm feeling like I still gotta do something. But I don't know what. I met my girlfriend about last year and I knew she liked music. So going into this year, it was like, all right, what can I do to help her have a platform, but also still connect my brand so that what she's doing is promoting my brand as well.
Right.
But she also still her own brand and being able to promote herself. So that's when I came up with the Connecting with Others open mic mixer that we had.
That was still
July 14th, we had you there hosting. I think everybody loved you. They loved you being there, being able to capture moments, because it was so much going on.
It was.
But you was that one person that was able to capture moments, have people feel like they're important. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody was important. I mean, it was an important event, and I felt like, you know, because I asked to be a part of that whole shebang, and I was just like, this is nice. You know, I like where you going with this. I actually purchased a hat while I was away at school. So, and me and my mom actually purchased a hat, and she was just like, oh, Danielle, that's a cute hat. She was like, I want one. So I just ordered us 2 hats, and you know, they actually came like 2 days later after sending you the money. So that was like a nice turnaround process and transaction with you. So, you know, that was good. And then I was like, when I seen your event for July 14th, I was like, well, that's kind of perfect. You know, I need to get myself out there. This is networking. And I just feel like, all right, this is my opportunity to get several interviews at once. You know, we both helped each other, so that was an amazing opportunity. So thank you.
I appreciate that. I'm glad you loved it. Like I said, you was an amazing part of the event. I felt as though if you weren't there, the event wouldn't have been what it was. Like, you really helped me bring my vision to life. And just to dive a little bit more on that event, like I said, my girl did music, but I didn't want to just single her out. So I chose to make it an open mic because she's in the music. I actually got a lot of friends who's in the music, so I'm like, all right, let me dive into this area of like a lifestyle brand. So let me tell you a little bit about how I plan on growing my community behind Classy Women. I think that like I'm going to change the culture, right? And ways to change the culture is to think about things that shift the culture.
Right.
And you think about music, that's some of the things that shift the culture. You think about food and dancing, like just so being able to embody those things in my brand through my different events. I hope to ultimately allow for the brand to grow into what I envision. And my vision for the brand is to create millions of environments that's built on trust. Because I believe that trust is the basis of human connectivity. And the more that we trust in each other, we're able to connect and do things just like this interview. You know what I'm saying? For me to be able to get my brand out there more, and for you to get more experience for what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the more and more I create environments where people trust in, my brand going to come to life even more.
You know, I don't want to cut you off if you was about to say something, but I just had like this, I don't know if the epiphany is the right word, but I just see you like in a different state, because you're not going to be in Philly, but I see this like you're being allowed to travel, so that's a good thing. I see several people that I don't know, you probably know, but you probably don't know them, and they probably just came from over the years, so that's another check. And I really see this in my head, and I just know like when I see stuff in my head, I know it's possible. Like I saw this podcast, so I was just like, I gotta make it happen. So I really do see you taking off, and I see it as like a major hashtag, like something that could even be on like BET one of these summers. And you know, you just have a big flock of people that's just wearing your gear, but it's not about your gear, it's just to represent you. And yeah, and maybe even like a speaker, you know, like this might even turn into like a speaker, because you will have to explain what you're doing, what your mission is. So I feel like you talking about your mission, you gotta be a public speaker. Right. So I'm loving the fact that you seeing it, and you seeing what other people said to me in the past. And around 2017, when the brand was first getting started, and I was meeting up with people trying to figure out different ways to network and grow the brand,
Like you just a living testimony, like of how, like I said, like I'm going to try my best to help you in any way possible, grow you and your brand. You know what I'm saying? Just as well as you doing this for me. So like this right here, this is a classic experience.
Exactly.
This is a classic experience. You know what I'm saying?
It's your girl Danny from Hear Me Clearly podcast and radio. Every Friday at noon, tune into WSYC 88.7 FM.
And like you said, I wanted to be more of a campaign so that people, it's like I said, running for presidency, like people feel like what's about to happen with this.
Right.
And it's happening every day, so it just always is good energy when classroom memory is being talked about or is being seen or shown somewhere.
Yeah, I feel like you definitely want to take off. So you said you launched your project. Well, you didn't. Did you technically launch it yet? I mean,
I didn't. I don't want to say I launched the initial campaign. I didn't because not only do I not have websites or a business card or just somewhere for people to really be accessible to me right now, or even a team, I don't think I launched the campaign yet. I'm really striving to launch the campaign later this year. I'm not going to speak on it too much, but I'm planning something real big for November, and it hopes to build my community behind classroom only. I'm big on community service. I just did a backpack drive August 17th at Dorothy Emanuel Rec Center as part of the Black program, which stands for...
any like photos or footage from that?
I do.
Send it my way.
I got you. And it was for the Black program. That's building leaders and confident kids. And I'm co-creative director for that, and that's a non-profit organization just helping kids try to deter from the school to prison pipeline. So like, when I talk about lifestyle brand, I do a lot and try to just change the culture and the community for people and how we just look at life.
Okay, so tell me this, because it's a lifestyle and you know, classy, like you were saying, at first you was just putting it on everybody's post and some people might have saw like, she not classy, or from their perspective what classy was. So I would like to know from your perspective and your definition, what is classy? Because it's not just one thing, it's multiple things.
It's multiple things. I feel like classy is an ongoing thing, right? Like you could be classy one day and not be classy the next. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you classy and that's just a label that's over your head as if boy and girl, you know what I'm saying? Like it's something that's changing. Like 1 week you might not feel classy, but for the next couple of months you do, because those couple months you will strive and try and get best to become better and better, a best version of yourself.
And it don't have nothing to do with how you dress yourself,
your occupation, how much money you make, the skin color, none of that. Age, no, it don't matter. A man could be classy, a woman could be classy, a 5-year-old could be classy, and a 100-year-old could be classy. Coming from all walks of life.
So I know you just mentioned men can also be classy. Now the name of your campaign and your brand is Classy Women Only. So I know you're not just saying only women can be classy, but can you just touch a little bit more on how it is a male's job to promote classiness with women and in the universe?
Because I look at it as like women are the healers of the world. If you think about it, women really help with just about everything as far as birthing children, birthing me. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a woman. I'm trying to promote this mission and this lifestyle. So just that alone. And I just think that at the end of the day, this is what I learned, right? I was trying to empower women, and as a man, if you don't ever sit down and have a conversation with a woman on ways that they want to be empowered, you might think you uplifting and empowering them, and you're doing it in the wrong ways. So that's why it's important for it to be a man's job, because it starts with a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because every woman is different. Every woman get brought up in different ways. Every woman has different insecurities that a man might have to, you know what I'm saying, try to
a little differently.
So and that's really the biggest thing behind it. In a relationship that I was in, I realized that my girlfriend at the time, she had a lot of insecurities, and me as a man, I really could not help her with them, right? And I felt as though as a man, rather than shaming her, even breaking up with her for that matter, because of her insecurities, is like a sign of weakness in me. You know what I'm saying? And I felt as though it was my mission and goal to just learn different ways to empower women. Whether I was in a relationship with them, or you're my friend, or my mom, or my grandma, so that connections can be built and they can be stronger. Because like I said, trust is the basis of human connectivity. And if a person could share their insecurity with you, and you uplift them and not bring them down about it, and they look back at it years later and was like, he was the person that really helped me get out of this slump, look at myself different. You know what I'm saying? And I think that men got the tool to do that. You know what I'm saying? Just like men got the tool to, if they want to have a girl that's not a girlfriend but doing just about everything for them as if they is a girlfriend, you got the ability to uplift the woman and make her feel stronger and powerful.
In a way, it's kind of like, I don't want to say like mind control, because I know a male's intention may not to be like to bring a woman down, but it's just like, you know, everybody's wired differently, as you said, and I just want to touch on a little bit, like, as you just said, a male can convince a woman to do this, and you can also convince a woman to be more loving to herself. Unfortunately, some people can't, you know, do that for themselves, or at least what you can campaign and push is to love yourself. So, I mean, it really just, it varies for people, but at the same time, I do appreciate how you just broke that down and how you see it as not just being her problem. It's also a problem that you can either choose to help solve, or, you know, help to work on, or, you know, just not even worry about.
Worry about it, all right. And the feedback of what you said, loving yourself, that was something I dealt with last year, right? I realized I couldn't be out here trying to uplift and bring other people joy and happiness if I don't got it within. And that's what I want to tell everybody like that's watching this interview. Before you feel as though it's your obligation to uplift anybody and bring anybody happiness and joy, you make sure that's within yourself first, because it's going to feel like times where you're taking from yourself to bring other people happiness, and if they're not unappreciative of it, or they're not appreciative of it, like my fault, if they're not appreciating the energy that you're giving, and after a while start to feel like you're taking from yourself, that's because in a sense you didn't really have that for yourself. So you gotta wait till you got enough for yourself, so that when you is giving it, whether they appreciate it or not, that's who you are as a person. It don't matter. And that's where I am at life. Like, I'm gonna continue to dish out happiness, whether you rejecting it, you questioning it. That's me. I'm a happy person. I'm gonna continue to be happy and try to uplift and inspire everybody.
I think that is a good way to go and walk through life. We need more leaders. We need more motivators. We need more people who just believe and just want to fight, you know, for the right things and the right causes. So I definitely commend you for that. Do you have any special women in your life who might have inspired you for this brand? And I know you mentioned like
I do,
a couple people, but
I do. Most influential person right now to me it would be my grandma, right? And I was thinking about this on the way here. That's why I got this shirt on. It's an elephant. My grandma loved elephants. She passed away the day before my birthday, right? And I always look at that like a symbolism, as when somebody here, try your best to create relationships and bonds with them, right? So it's times where me and my mom might not be having the best relationship, but I don't ignore her for weeks. I still reach out to her, check up on her. Same thing with female friends, cousins. I feel as though it's important to reach out to people just as much as you feel as though people are not reaching out to you, checking up on you. Like I said, the energy that you want, you gotta make sure you dishing that out. So if you feel like you're not getting love, you gotta give love. And I got that sense of feeling from my grandma, just looking at that whole story and reflecting on like how I lost her, when I lost her, you know what I'm saying? And to speak on some people that I do have still here in my life that I really cherish, my mom, my little sisters, I really look up to them a lot, because we don't have the best relationship. I don't spend that much time with them, but it's a goal for mine, you know what I'm saying? And I think that it is, when I'm really becoming the best version of myself is when I'm always around my sisters, helping them become young women and adults. So
yes, that's very important. And a lot of people, I'm gonna speak for girls. Girls need male figures in their life throughout growing up and just throughout. And I feel like, especially, you know, coming up, being raised, because it's a lot of things that you can just be naive to if you don't have nobody in your corner, nobody in your ear, or nobody watching over you to protect you from these senseless fools out here, because they're out here. You know, we hear reports about them every day on the news, you know, about several people being hurt by this person or that person. And it's not just men, it can also be women, you know, as the attacker. However, you know, I think it's very crucial for a female to grow up with a male figure in her life as a protector, because it's so many things that you can find out later as a grown woman and you'll find out the wrong way, or you'll find out something when it's like too late. So, you know, being a big brother, those roles are important.
So speaking off of that, rolling off of what she said, too late. This is something else I advocate for. Sexual harassment and assault, like I really advocate for that. Don't ever feel like it's too late to speak up about anything, any misjustice you felt as though that happened to you, somebody you know. It's never too late. That's something that's really adamant to my heart, and you're gonna see in the future that I got campaigns supporting women that have been harassed sexually, emotionally, mentally, single moms, single dads. I advocate for all of that stuff because I was raised by a single mom at one point. So don't ever feel like it's too late.
There's hope.
There is hope.
There's literally hope.
Stay positive, and just remember that as long as you try and become the best version of yourself, you classy, and nobody can strip that away from you.
Okay. All right, so I have one more question for you because we kind of just touched on everything, and this was great. You know,
great conversation,
this honestly, like, it just flowed. Like as soon as we,
and I'm sure it helped you get to know me a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Going forward, if I am having an event, you will feel more connected to the room. You know what I'm saying? You could be now an advocate for me when I'm not around because you know a little bit more about my brand.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, I rock my head up school and like no cap. A lot of people ask me and they'll be like, "Oh, I like how they did the W with the crown." Yes, I know that detail. And they're like, "Oh, that W stands out, like it's gold, and then the rest is like, you know, pink." And I just think the hat is so cute. Personally, when I saw the hat, I just was like, it's distressed. I distress a lot of things. You don't know that. A lot of people don't know that, but I do distress a lot of things. And people always come to me and say, "Oh, can you do this? Can you do that?" They play, but your hat really drew my attention, and then like the color and the detail, and I always love that crown. So I felt like I needed a hat. My mom liked the hat because she trusted my opinion. So, you know, it doesn't hurt. I can advocate. It doesn't really matter. But, you know, I always tell people who you are. I always speak highly of you when I wear my hat. So, you're welcome. Just to get to the last question. So, basically, what are some of like your future plans besides the event that you said that you had for November? Like, besides what I manifested, what I see, and whatever you have going forward, like, what else do you have in mind for your goal and your purpose?
Okay, like I said, I attack all areas of life. I'm gonna be that guy on a cooking show one week, next week I'm hosting a game show. Listen, I'm really in the works of putting together a hair show, right? A live hair show for when girls could come out. Like, you buy tickets, you come to the show, and you watching hairstylists do hair in the competition. Like, that's my next event.
And is he gonna be like amateurs or like, you know, people out of like?
I don't think it's gonna be amateurs, because I think I'm becoming more serious with my brand. I'm hoping to partner up with some real serious people that's serious about their brands to attract serious stylists that's going to attract some serious competition to make it that much more enjoyable. Yeah, that much more enjoyable, you know. And I think that's just different, you know what I'm saying? When the last time have you been to a hair show?
I've never actually been to a hair show. I've just seen the movie hair show.
And I hope that when I do manifest this event, it's something that you're able to enjoy and look back on and say, we talked about this in my interview, and now I'm here interviewing people at this event.
Again,
you know what I'm saying?
Getting
so
more.
That's something that I'm working on, really manifesting a hair show for women.
Okay. All right, well, that's all that I have for us today. Do you have any final words or shout outs that you would like to wrap up for the interview?
I want to thank all my supporters. I want to thank anybody that ever bought a hat, a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, anybody that ever liked the hashtag Classy Women Only, anybody that ever used the hashtag Classy Women Only. But I want everybody to think about this. It's all about connecting with others. And that's what my last event was called. So moving forward, a lot of things you're going to see. I'm going to be using the C.W.O from the brand, but it's going to be me talking about connecting with others. The brand is Classy Women Only. I'm sure you know that, but now it's time to connect and to connect with as many people as possible. Because it's not always about what you know. It's a lot of times about who you know. So I want you guys to be real mindful of that. And just come out and connect. You can follow me on Instagram at jason.b, jaison.b, and the Classy Women Only page is classywomen.only.
Okay.
Thank you, and I thank you for your time.
No problem.
This is my first interview. This is love.
Awesome. You did well. I mean, you kind of like took it and just rolled with it, and I want to just say you did a really good job. Like, I didn't have too many questions to ask you.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
So much. No, this was amazing. Thank you so much.
You got it.